She's the AI guru who once ran from tech like it was a bad date. Now she's revolutionizing the marketing game with algorithms and automation. Welcome to the ADOTAT show's special Mad Women series. Today we've got Naama Manova Twito in the hot seat. We'll unpack her journey from Techphobe to Trailblazer, get some juicy insights, and maybe even learn how to make AI do our dirty work.
Deserve to win when it matters most. Facing multi-billion-dollar bet the company litigation? No problem. That's why we're here. Troutman Amin, LLP is a true legal powerhouse.
Welcome to the ADOTAT show, folks. I'm your host, Pesach Lattin, the guy who still thinks going viral sounds like a bad thing. Today we kick off our Mad Women series with the marketing powerhouse, Naama Manova Twito. Did I say that right?
You did. Hello, Pesach. It's great on to you.
She's gone from a technophobe to an AI trailblazer, and she's here to share her journey, insights, and maybe a few laughs. Get ready. It's going to be a wild ride. First of all, how are you doing? And don't give me the PR answer. I want the unfiltered Naama. Stressed out, elated, tired of explaining what LLM stands for?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're a startup founder, so you're always on. Plus, add to that I see you're starting with a hard button. So add to that the fact that I'm an Israeli, which
right.
We have for every Israeli. We have I'm okay generally, right? So I have my startup, which is doing well and things are progressing well, and you have the family and all that. And then there's the national situation where we're all hurt.
Yeah, for people who don't know, Israelis they always say things are besetter.
Yeah.
They're always okay.
Besetter. Yeah, and I think it builds character and resilience, doesn't it?
It does. So, is your AI helping you unwind or just giving you more data to stress out over?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. It took me a while to put our own marketing on autopilot, so that's relief. But I think that the more technology and tools you have, it's not like you go to the beach at noon, right? You just accomplish more. So there's more to do.
Right. I read your bio and it said you used to be a technophobe, and now you're the co-founder of the world's first fully autonomous AR marketing team. I'm picturing a scene where you're glaring at your computer and suddenly this beam of light shines down from above and you had an epiphany. Was there a specific light bulb moment that made you embrace technology, or was it more like a slow, painful awakening where you were dragged kicking and screaming into the future?
Okay. I think it was...
Tired of ads that make you want to gouge your eyes out? So are we. At Origin, we've remastered TV advertising to actually capture your attention and deliver real results. Ditch the same old, and elevate your brand with dynamic, captivating ad experiences. Expect better, expect Origin.
It was a mix of both. I started out 25 years almost when marketing was still fun. And it was really easier. We had 4 channels, all eyes were on your brand. If you had a bit of a budget and a good hunch, you can get your brand out there. My problem was that I stuck there. So I thought that was marketing, and when the digital transformation came about, I was against it. I was, no, Facebook, that's not going to stick. So I was sticking to pen and paper and doing things the way that I knew. But it was very hard for me to adapt to that new world where 16-year-olds are surrounding you and speaking like abbreviations that you don't understand. So I spent years Googling under the table for just to understand the conversation. But I was still refusing to learn. And then when my first daughter was born, I had, I guess it was a parental breakdown. I decided I'm not going to be high tech anymore. And I opened up a retail brand where I was importing goods from the US and selling them here in Israel. And I did not know anything about direct to consumer. I had a website and I was still going door to door to shops and retailers to sell my stuff. That's sort of when I understood that if I knew technology, if I knew the new tools, I could do better. That's where I decided that I'm going to leave my fears behind and just go for it. I joined an ad tech company.
So what was the most surprising thing you learned about AI once you started working with it? Did it suddenly start making your coffee exactly the way you wanted it? Or did it have a habit of talking back?
It does have a habit of talking back, especially in our own model. Our model encourages conflict. So you have the agents sort of talking to each other and conflicting each other, which is where the creativity comes from. But you also see if you're using ChatGPT and other models, and it's kind of subordinate, it agrees with what you say, and that's not what we're looking for. But I think the most surprising thing that I found is the speed at which it actually got adopted by the entire humanity almost. This is the first time in history where everyone has access to crazy technology and everyone can use it their own way. I can't be.
So was there ever a moment where you thought to yourself that you should have stayed a technophobe?
Yeah, things were a lot easier when I stuck to my own my own knowledge because I didn't have to do as much.
How do you balance the need for human creativity with the efficiency of AI in your marketing strategies? Have you ever had to rein in the robots?
Well, I think that balancing out, I think in generally, creativity is sort of based on the canvas that you enable it. So there's so much you can do with a pen and paper, and then you get better tools and et cetera, et cetera. So yesterday, for example, I was speaking at a Google conference, and the session after me had this artist, and she said, I really love Midjourney because up until Midjourney, only pictures of the world were my canvas. And now I can go with my imagination to wherever I want. So I think that being able to interlace the tools and the AI into your own creative imagination is where the good balance is at. Plus, it sort of gives you a better stepping stone. So your initial round is higher.
So do you have any misconceptions? What's the biggest misconception people have about AI and marketing? Is there a myth that you want to bust once and for all?
Yeah. I think that people, since ChatGPT, they just think that, so now everyone can be a marketer, right? Because everyone can create content, and having AI doesn't make marketing easy. It just makes you able to create a lot of content. It's not necessarily good content. It's just flooding the internet with a lot of content. And I think it makes marketers' jobs harder because now you have a lot more noise that you need to break through.
Do a lot of people come to you and they question whether or not AI is going to take their job?
Yeah. I think that it is, by the way. I think that the world is going to change, and I think that some jobs are going to be filled by technology and new jobs are going to be created, like in every revolution. But I think that this is the first time where it's hitting, manager jobs, and that's where people are panicking. But I don't think they should. I think it's a good evolution because it will enable people to step up and get the mundane, very repetitive tasks done by technology, and then you can again leverage your own creativity, your mind, your deep thoughts, rather than repetitive tasks that fill up your day.
Do you find yourself ever having philosophical debates with your AI about the meaning of creativity?
Yeah, in a way, they also debate between themselves. So our product is different models that sort of interact with each other. So they brainstorm and they talk about a brand and they talk about strategies. And I think it's not so much the debate about the philosophy of human creativity, but the way that a brand should portray itself when it looks at the surroundings, especially here in Israel, amidst the war. What is good marketing? How can you do that with everything going on? Should you be doing that? So that's an interesting debate to hear.
So your career spans 24 years, I see, from running your own agency to now leading an AI revolution. That's like going from the rotary phone to a smartphone in one leap. What's been the wildest change you've seen in marketing during this time?
As a veteran, a survivor almost, I can tell you that we've been through so much as marketers. So it started out really easy, and I loved the good old days. And then you had the digital revolution and the social media revolution and the mobile revolution, and our jobs changed so much. And just when I finally got Facebook, then TikTok comes about and changes everything again. So I think that as marketers, we're always on the run and everything is changing really quickly. So I think that this is a more helpful change than anything that we've seen before because it enables us to shorten the learning curve when additional platforms pop up, or making sure that we're on top of the trends and the brands all the time, but also ramping up a lot faster. So I think that if you use this technology well, then you get a really good lead on your competition.
In your view, what's the most overhyped trend in marketing right now? Something everyone's buzzing about but really isn't living up to the hype?
I think that everybody's really worried about if AI content will rank on search engines. And I think that it doesn't matter because I think that search is not going to stay what it is.
What do you think of the Google AI search? Have you used it much?
No, I think it's not good enough yet, but it will be. And I think that that's the future of search. So I think that the chat bot, for example, if you're looking at ChatGPT, that's the new search engine for a lot of people. People are taking the answers of ChatGPT to be the one single truth, which is, as much as it is, easy to use, it's also dangerous. So we need to make sure that, the results are actually valid there. But I don't think that people should be worried if AI content will be ranking on search engines, because search engines are not going to be what they are today. You're not going to get the whole concept of SEO is going to be the top 5 recommendations of the chat, or seeing sponsored ads within the chat or sponsored answers. So I don't think that people should be worried about that at all.
So how do you keep your team motivated and ahead of the curve in such a fast-paced industry? Do you have any rituals or mantras that keep everyone on their tones? Is coffee the real MVP here, or do you have a secret sauce?
Yeah, so coffee definitely is. We have bowls of capsules in every office. I think that as a founder, I think the biggest lesson I've learned is surround yourself with really good people. Stay out of their way and let them work together in the way they like to work together. So I'm at the office now at 7:15 p.m. here. Everybody's still here. And they have a long night planned ahead. So we have a great mix of senior developers and junior developers working together in a mix that everybody's really excited about what we're building. And they get credit end to end. So you have a responsibility, you have a task to deliver. And then, if you succeed, it's yours. And if you fail, it's yours. It's fine.
So what's one piece of advice you give someone who just started in the marketing industry, something you wish someone had told you back in the day, like a warning on how addictive data analytics can be?
Be curious. Be curious. And I think that if I were to advise my younger self, then I would say it's probably better to appear momentarily stupid than it is to stay stupid for a long time. So,
and my wife says I appear stupid all the time. So
I think I was just so afraid of asking questions like, what is CPC? What do you mean? What is CPM? Why is I Googled it for a long time, as I mentioned, but I didn't understand it. And I was so afraid that I'm going to lose my facade. Then I wasn't worried about my progress and my own, how I learn more things. So just ask questions. You might appear momentarily stupid, but you're going to get smarter really fast.
Was there someone that was like your Yoda or your Obi-Wan Kenobi that helped you learn about the industry? Or were they more like a Darth Vader?
Yeah, I think I had both. My greatest advantage in my career was that I was surrounded the whole time with people who had more faith in me than I did myself.
Right.
If it was my parents themselves were massive role models for myself, my husband moving forward, and the career opportunities that I got at a very early age. I mean, at 24, I was leading an IPO on AIM. So a lot of these opportunities that I got built my confidence in a way that I wouldn't have on my own.
Oh, I remember AIM. Everyone in the industry used to use AIM. That was and then it was AIM or ICQ, both Israeli startups, right? No, AIM was originally obviously AOL, but then it was bought up by an Israeli company, right?
I think so.
Okay, so looking back, what would be your proudest moment in your career? The moment when you thought, yeah, I kind of nailed it.
It's not a career moment so much. Being a startup founder, I work around the clock, and it's been like this for the past 2 years, right? So, and I'm a mom of 2. I have a 13-year-old and a 9-year-old. And you can imagine I'm not voting myself Mom of the Year during these past two years because I'm absent a lot. I try not to drop, too many important balls, but I'm absent a lot. And this last Mother's Day, not Mother's Day, Women's Day, my 13-year-old, who's already active on social media, she posted a story of pictures of me, tagging me and saying to the women I admire most. And I was thinking about to myself, I think this is my proudest moment because even though I'm not there often and I work around the clock and sometimes my kids might feel that my startup is more important than they are, they still like me and they're not embarrassed of me. And I think that that's a huge achievement for a working mom.
So how do your clients react when you first introduce AI-driven solutions? Are they excited, skeptical, or do they think that you've been watching too much sci-fi?
The latter, for sure.
Right? Do they think HAL 9000 will go crazy on them?
Yeah, definitely. Especially with the way we productize. So the fact that you have agents conversing with each other, taking decisions, and so the smaller medium, you might be surprised, but the small medium businesses adapt a lot quicker than the enterprises do, simply because for them, it's a do or die. I mean, great, there's a marketing solution that I can afford that can actually do good marketing for me. I'm going to try it. When you look at the bigger organizations, I think that the mistake they make is sort of management says, try it. And then you have the employees that are fearful for their jobs. And then they don't want to try it, right? They want to make sure that their jobs are kept exactly the way they are. But I think that if you reward the employees using technology, implementing technology, and getting better at their jobs, that's the way to go about it. And I think that the bigger organizations are going to have to learn how to implement this across the board and not just sort of tell them to do it.
Can you share a story where AI exceeded expectations in a project where maybe a client was like, wow, this is amazing. This is above and beyond what we thought it was?
Yeah. With the smaller businesses, it's easy for them. It's a difference between doing marketing and not doing marketing, so it's easy to do. But I was really surprised.
So for some people, this is their first marketing strategy ever?
Ever. So it's going from posting a few organic posts on Instagram once every few weeks to full-fledged marketing led by experts. So it's
wow.
a massive difference for them. But I think that the biggest surprise was the agencies. So we were fortunate to collaborate with quite a few of the leading agencies, and they're very open with the results. And they're saying that customer acquisition costs are lower. You see better conversions, and I think that openness of them to try this technology and improve the results for their clients is amazing.
So was there a funny or unexpected thing that AI has done while working on the campaign? Like just maybe it suggested a slogan that was so out there that you had to double check if it was serious?
Yeah, it does sometimes. We had this demo done for a mattress company, and this is just from yesterday, and they offered a really good actual slogan. It was Mattress Matters,
right?
Which I like. But we had this campaign that was all about, you're a rock star, rock on, and, all the rock
right
wording. And then the imagery was all rocks, pebbles.
I didn't quite understand what that meant.
Yeah, it didn't get the spirit of the campaign.
Looking forward, how do you see the role in AI evolving in the creative side of the industry? Will it ever truly understand the nuances of human emotion, creativity, or will it always need a human hand?
I won't say always. I think that a human hand is where, I think the human handshake with the technology is the important part, because when we're looking 2, 3, 5 years down the line, we're looking at hybrid teams, right? So you wake up in the morning and you go to work, and part of your teammates are people and some are not. And it's sort of a very seamless interaction. And I think that handshake between what are the tasks of the humans moving forward, strategy, and doing the more creative things, and the baseline done by the tech is going to be a very interesting handshake. I do think that the more data you give contextually, the better the AI response. So if we feed the agents the context of the geo, the client, the competition, what are people looking for, human-like in terms of sentiment, but it's getting closer.
So what's your biggest aspiration for MarketTeam.ai? Where do you want to take this innovation in the next 5 years?
Hybrid teams. So what we're doing right now for marketing, where you have human teams working with non-human teams and sort of collaborating for a big empowered marketing team, we can do that in other verticals as well. So imagine that you're now, you're opening a new company and you have a legal team that's working with you on
right.
So doing that in additional.
Any other verticals that you guys are looking at besides marketing and legal? Or is it just endless? Anything?
It could be endless, where people have discussions. So, I'm not sure it's going to work as well with coding.
Right.
To have discussions and brainstorm and then take action, it could actually work really well. So the teams that we're launching are marketing, creative, sales, and then we're enabling people to build their own teams just to see what the demand is going to look like, and then we can develop the new team.
Yeah, the way I see it that you're describing it is AI is becoming more like an assistant than the boss. For example, I've always had assistants that I can bounce ideas off of. Is that what you're seeing? That AI will be in the future?
I think that's where AI is today. So if you're looking at ChatGPT or Claude or any other, or the different co-pilots that you have launching, it's an assistant mode, right? You go to the AI and you ask it to do something for you, and then it does. And there's a bit of a pushback between like the two of you, but you get what you want because it assists you to do that. It assists you to write an email or assists you to write a line of code. We're taking it to the next step where, like, you outsource part of your work in an organization, right? You outsource your marketing, or you outsource your legal or your accounting to sort of BPOs where you can outsource a full work unit to someone else to do, or an employee where you hire an employee, then you assume that they have domain expertise and you assume that they have capabilities to initiate tasks and capabilities to execute tasks, and they can measure themselves. So I think that that's where we're looking at the AI though. So having a machine that is accountable, can perform tasks in the real world, and can help you not as an assistant for every task, but rather has responsibility to execute certain tasks.
So what do you think your legacy will be in the marketing world? Something that says Naama Manova Twito changed the game.
I'm really hoping to make marketing fun again. Marketing was so much fun before this digital craze. I mean, we were...
Like, you want to go back to email and websites only?
I want to go back to the Mad Men days where we would sit at the office,
Right,
cooking and drinking and create, like, thinking about crazy ideas and crazy slogans and amazing campaigns. And then everything went digital. And then is it going to be order now or buy now? That's not the question. The question is, how do we position this brand? And I think if you have machines doing the gray work, you can get people doing the colorful, fun work.
Wait, let's lighten things up a little bit before we go. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? And no fair saying, the ability to find a perfect marketing strategy.
Yeah. I don't.
Flying, invisibility, or maybe the power to never miss a deadline.
I'm gonna go dark. You know the movie with Bradley Cooper, Limitless, where he takes a pill
He took the drugs, yeah.
Yeah, so he can see 50 steps ahead. That's what I want.
So, why is that?
I mean, being a startup founder, you need to juggle so many things and you need to think ahead so many steps. And I think having the ability to jump that far forward would really help at this point.
What's your guilty pleasure when you're not working? Are you binge watching reality TV or secretly baking elaborate cakes?
I'm baking. How did you know?
Yeah. What are we baking?
I bake a lot. I've been baking for a really long time. After we sold one of our companies and I had some free time and I went to actually learn baking. I think I'm compensating. I had a history of eating disorders. So I think that by baking, I'm overcompensating for that.
Yeah, I got into sourdough during COVID.
Right.
Because we couldn't find yeast anywhere, so we had to learn to make sourdough.
Amazing.
So I'm still doing that for Shabbat. Sourdough. I love it.
I make challah on Shabbat, but I make a lot of cakes, and I do like all these intricate, beautiful cakes for my kids.
I'm sure they love that.
Yeah.
If you were stuck on a desert island and could only bring 5 people with you, who would they be? And yes, you can pick a fictional character.
Okay. I'm assuming like the response that I should be saying is some tech guru like
Bill Gates, etc. Right?
No, I think that I would like my family to be there because I haven't been spending enough time with them, and if I'm stuck on an island, it would be a good time to catch up. Someone to cook for us. I don't know, Gordon or someone. Someone to play some good music.
Gordon Ramsay.
And we're stuck on an island. Let's have fun.
And what music? Obviously not Pink Floyd. So, but what?
I think Nora Jones would give some good atmosphere there on the island. Would give some good vibes. So we'll be hanging with family, with Nora Jones playing music, Gordon cooking, and get some Survivor Master to get us off the island.
What's one book that has changed your life and why? Did it spark a career revelation or just give you a new perspective on things?
I have to say it's Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. It's a book about the art of negotiation, but he is an ex-FBI.
And that's the FBI guy, right?
Yeah.
Right, because there's 2 Chris Vosses. There's Chris Voss, the podcaster, who I know, who always complains that he gets confused with Chris Voss, the FBI agent.
So it's the FBI agent, and there's one of the beginning of the book, middle of the book, he says, everybody's taught in negotiations to compromise, because compromise is supposedly the best way that everybody's happy. But if your wife tells you she wants you to wear a black shoe and you want to wear a brown shoe, and then you go out and you have one black shoe and one brown shoe, that's not a good solution for anyone.
Right, it's not a compromise.
Exactly. So the way he starts every chapter with a hostage story and then reels that into a business situation is eye-opening. It's insane. It's such a good book.
So who in the marketing world do you admire the most? Is there someone that you look up to and maybe a fangirl a little bit over?
Estee Lauder.
Why? Well, I mean, she's not alive anymore, but yeah.
When Estee started her career, she was like doing the creams at home, and then she would try them out on women on like the subway, or she went to Lafayette and she broke a bottle of her own perfume on the floor, so people would start asking where they can get that perfume, and like a lot of
Oh
these.
wow, that's brilliant! I've never heard that.
That's brilliant, and I'm like, that takes so much courage. Way back then, that's inspiring. She just touches her customers. She literally touches her customers.
Right, if you could meet her, what would you ask her?
Give me a little bit of that courage and inspiration to be. I mean, when I heard the Lafayette story, I was like, oh my God, that's like the smartest way to get to people, because Lafayette wouldn't talk to her even. So she went in, she broke the bottle, and everybody was asking for the salespeople to get that scent. And that's how she broke into Lafayette. And that was, for me, it's incredible to, breaking the rules and building your business. It's insane.
What's the funniest or most embarrassing thing that happened to you during a business meeting? A moment where you just had to laugh it off? Was it a wardrobe malfunction, tech fail, or something even more epic?
I have an epic story. Before starting this startup, I had my agency, and one of the clients was working with Microsoft. So we had a Zoom call. It was mid-COVID, and we had a Zoom call, and I just couldn't stand to be in the den anymore. So I moved to the dining room. And my youngest, we have this toy unicorn that she can ride. And I was in the call, and I have like a ton of Microsoft people on the call. And my daughter is sort of behind me. She's going back and forth on her unicorn. And at some point, one of the guys said, I just have to stop this call. I just want to make sure I'm not hallucinating, because a lot of crazy... Is everybody seeing a kid on the unicorn behind her going back and forth?
And did everyone see it?
Yeah, everyone saw it. But it was really good breaking the ice moment.
It's hilarious. Before we go, I always ask people if you could send yourself a time-traveling text message to give yourself a piece of advice, and obviously you can't give stock tips, what would you tell yourself when you started in the industry?
I would give myself the advice to be curious and that it's okay to be wrong, and just try to have fun every day, because you're going to be working hard every single day of your life. Enjoy what you're doing and do it with people you like being with, because you're going to be spending so much time with them.
That's a wrap for this rollercoaster episode of the ADOTAT show. We had the absolute pleasure of chatting with Naama Manova Twito, the AI sorceress who's flipping the marketing world on its head. From running away from tech like it had cooties to embracing it and leading a digital revolution, her story is nothing short of epic. We dove deep, uncovered some juicy tidbits, and even cracked a few jokes. Now, let's give a huge shout out to our phenomenal sponsors. Trautmann Amin LLP, because even the wildest mavericks need a legal dream team in their corner. And a big thank you to Origin, the geniuses behind the media magic at originmedia.tv. Seriously, if you haven't Googled them yet, what are you waiting for? Thanks for tuning in, folks. And remember, be curious, be bold, and know more than you did yesterday